Good morning, children. I had sent a video for you on the lesson Glimpses of India. This lesson has been taken from your textbook. This lesson is divided in three parts, and these three parts produces Glimpses of India. Part 1, A Baker from Goa. Introduction. A baker from Goa revolves around the relevance of a baker in the Goan culture, which dates back to the time when Portuguese ruled over the city of Goa. The Portuguese may have left, but the bread makers continue to have an inevitable stature. In this story, the author recalls his childhood days and their excitement on seeing the baker. They were enthusiastic to the point that they would run to him as soon as they woke up without even brushing their teeth. You can see an excitement in the child. Gist of the lesson that is very important for you. This will be helpful to understand the lesson. The lesson begins with how narrators, elders often recall the time when Goa was under the rule of the Portuguese. They talk how the importance of bakers is still maintained in their villages even after the Portuguese have left. They are known as peders in Goa. The mixers, molders, and their time tested furnaces continue to serve the people of Goa with their famous bread loaves. It is possible that the original ones may not exist, but their profession is being continued by their sons. The thud of their bamboo stick can still be heard in some parts of the village. The same jingling thud would wake the narrator and his friends during their childhood days, who would go running to him without brushing or washing their mouth properly. It was the maid servant of the house who collected the loaves while children sorted out the bread bangles for themselves. Bakery products have importance in the culture and traditions of Goa. Bol or sweet bread is a part of marriage gifts, cakes, and bolinas or coconut cookies are eaten at every festival, and the lady of the house prepares sandwiches at her daughter's engagement. Earlier, bakers wore a unique frock of knee length known as kabai, but during the narrator's childhood days, they wore a shirt and trousers of length slightly shorter than the usual ones. They generally collected their bills at the end of every month. Bakery has continued to be a profitable profession, managing to keep their families joyous and prosperous. Dear children, there are main points of the story. First, the Portuguese in Goa were lovers of bread. You can understand this. Those eaters of bread have now gone, but its makers still exist. During the childhood days of the narrator, a baker used to be their friend, companion, and guide. The baker came twice a day, once in the morning and again while returning home after finishing his selling. The jingling thud of the baker's bamboo woke up the sleeping children. The loaves were delivered to the servants of the house. The children would peep into the baker's basket for the bread bangles. The children would eat bread with hot tea. The marriages were incomplete without the popular ball bread. Bolinas was a must during Christmas and all other festivals. The makers wore a particular knee-length frock known as kabai. Baking was a profitable profession. Bakers had a plump physique. Testifying to this, the bakers collected their bills at the end of the month. Dear children, now you have an idea. You should listen this again and again. In your examination, some mm, passages are given you and some questions are asked. These questions are very important for you. You may be asked in your examination. You see these lines which have been taken from your textbook from this lesson. We kid would be pushed aside with a mild rebuke, and the loaves would be delivered to the servant. But we would not give up. We would climb a bench or the parapet and peep into the basket. Somehow I can still recall the typical fragrance of those loaves, loaves for the elders and the bangles for the children. Who are we in the extract? It is written here, answer is given. We in the extract refers to the narrator and his friends. Second, why were the children pushed aside? The kids were pushed aside so that the breads can be delivered to the servants. See which word phrase in the extract means the same as an expression of disapproval, a scolding. Answer, the word rebuke from the extract means an expression of disapproval or a scolding. D. What was there in the basket? Answer, there were some loaves for the elders and some bangles for the children. There is a other passage taken from your text. Marriage gifts are meaningless without the sweet bread known as the bowl, just as a party or a feast loses its charm without bread. Not enough can be said to show how important a baker can be for a village. The lady of the house must prepare sandwiches on the occasion of her daughter's engagement. Cakes and bolinas are a must for Christmas as well as other festivals. Thus, the presence of the Baker's furnace in the village is absolutely essential. There are four questions based on this extract. A. What are compulsorily prepared during Christmas in Goa? You can answer during Christmas cakes and bolinas are compulsorily prepared in Goa. B. Why is a baker necessary in a village? A baker is necessary in a village because different kinds of breads are required by the villagers for daily consumption as well as for special occasions. C. Find the word in the extract which means celebration meal. Feast from the extract means celebration meal. Fourth, what is must to be prepared on a daughter's engagement by a lady? The lady of the house must prepare sandwiches on the occasion of her daughter's engagement. Dear children, your second part of the lesson starts. You can see here that was glimpses of India and second part is Kurg. Introduction first. The lesson gives us a beautiful insight of the smallest district of Karnataka and its people. The place has an amazing weather throughout the year with enough rain during the monsoon season. The people of Kurg are known to be one of the bravest. Coffee is the main crop grown in this region. A variety of animals can be found here, while the place is surrounded by beautiful Brahmagiri hills, islands, and Tibetan settlements. Gist. The writer describes the hill station of Kurg located in the western Ghats in the state of Karnataka. It is located midway between Bangalore and Mangalore. The suitable time to visit Kurg is from September to March. The place is famous for coffee plantation and spices. There are abundant rainforests which cover 30% of the area. The Kurgi men are brave warriors who are permitted to keep firearms without a license due to their trustworthiness. The women of Kurg are pretty. Kurg is also known as Kodau and the Kodaus, though are Hindu by religion, but their customs differ from those of mainstream Hindus. They marry within their community. Kodaus are said to be of Greek or Arabic descent. Some soldiers of Alexander's army settled there also, as the ethnic dress of the Kodaus, kupia, is similar to the Arab garment kufia. It is said that maybe their ancestors were Arabs or Kurds. The river Kaveri originates from Kurg. The fish named Mahasir is found in the river. Many animals and birds like kingfisher, langur, squirrels, and elephants can be spotted along the river. Tourists relax in the serene atmosphere and also enjoy adventure sports like river rafting, canoeing, rappelling, mountain biking, rock climbing, and trekking. While trekking on the nature trails, animals like macaques, Malabar squirrels, langurs, and slender loris can be spotted on the trees. The major tourist attractions are Brahmagiri Hills, Nisa, Nisargdham Island, and Bailekupi Tibetan settlements. Kurg gives visitors a feel of India's diverse cultures. Main points of the story. This will also help you to understand the lesson. Kurg is situated between Mysore and the coastal town of Mangalore. It is called the land of rolling hills. Kurg is inhabited by a pound race of martial men, beautiful women, and wild creatures. It is the smallest district of Karnataka. Kurg is the home of evergreen forest, spices, and coffee plantations. September to March is the most pleasant season for the tourists. During this period, weather is perfect and the air breathes of coffee. The people of Kurg are fiercely independent people. They are possible of Greek or Arabic origin. It is said that a part of Alexander's army settled there and married amongst the locals. Their long black coat with an embroidered waist belt, kupia, resembles the kufia worn by the Arabs. Kurgi homes are known for their hospitality. The Kurg regiment is one of the most decorated in the Indian Army. The first chief of the Indian Army, General Karyappa, was a Kurgi. The river Kaveri obtains its water from the hills and forest of Kurg. High energy adventures with river rafting, canoeing, rock climbing, and mountain biking are quite popular in Kurg. Birds, bees, butterflies, Malabar squirrels, and langurs find shelter in the rainforest of Kurg. The top of the Brahmagiri hills gives you a panoramic view of the misty valley of Kurg, India's largest Tibetan settlement at Bailekupi is famous for its Buddhist monks and temple. Their children, there is a extract from taken from this part. You can see this midway between Mysore and the coastal town of Mangalore sits a piece of heaven that must have drifted from the kingdom of God. This land of rolling hills is inhabited by a proud race of martial men, beautiful women, and wild creatures. Kurg or Kodagu, the smallest district of Karnataka, is home to evergreen rainforest, spices, and coffee plantations. Now there are questions for you. Which kind of animals are we likely to see at Kurg? This is very easy for you. You can write here. We are likely to see wild animals in Kurg. Second, what is Kurg known for? Kurg is known for its evergreen rainforest, spices and coffee plantation. Third question, which word in the extract means the same as having to do with war? I think you understand this. Martial. The word is martial. 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 From the extract means having to do with war. Fourth question, where is Kurg situated? I think this is very easy for you to answer. Kurg is situated between the midway of Mysore and coastal town of Mangalore. Now, your third part starts, that is tea from Assam. Okay? Introduction. This is very short description of Assam, a northeastern state of India. You know, these Assam comes under seven sister states. It is situated in northeastern part of India. This state is famous for its tea plantation. In this extract, Pranjal, a youngster from Assam, is Rajveer's classmate at a school in Delhi. Pranjal's father is the manager of a tea garden in Upper Assam, and Pranjal has invited Rajveer to visit his home during the summer vacation. Gist of the lesson. In Tea from Assam, Anup Kumar Datta describes how popular tea has become as a beverage in the world. Over 80 crore cups of tea are drunk every day throughout the world. It shows the increasing popularity of tea. The lesson gives a graphic description of the sea of tea bushes stretching as far as eyes can go in Assam. The plucking of the newly sprouted leaves by groups of tea pluckers with bamboo baskets on their backs are vividly described in the lesson. Pranjal belonged to Assam. He was studying in a school in Delhi. Rajveer was his classmate. Pranjal's father was the manager of a tea garden in Upper Assam. Pranjal invited Rajveer to visit his home during the summer vacation. Both of them traveled to Assam on a train. When the train stopped on the way at a station, a vendor called, Chai garam, chai garam. They took tea and started sipping it. Rajveer told Pranjal that over 80 crore cups of tea are drunk every day throughout the world. You can put this information in your mind. Pranjal started reading his detective book again, but Rajveer looked out of the window of the moving train. There was beautiful scenery outside. Soon the soft green paddy fields were left behind, and there were tea bushes everywhere. Rajveer was fascinated by the magnificent view of tea gardens. There were shade trees also. He was very excited. Pranjal did not share Rajveer's excitement because he had been born and brought up on a plantation, he told Rajveer that Assam has the largest concentration of tea plantation in the world. Rajveer said that no one really knows who discovered tea. He told Pranjal that there are many legends attached to tea. To the discovery of tea, according to one story, a Chinese emperor discovered tea by chance. He always boiled water before drinking it. One day, a few leaves of the twigs burning under the pot fell into the water. As a result, the boiled water got a delicious flavor. It is said they were tea leaves. According to another Indian legend, Bodhidharma, an ancient Buddhist monk, felt sleep during meditations, so he cut off his eyelids. 10 tea plants grew out of the eyelids. The leaves of these plants, when put in hot water and drunk, banished sleep. Rajvi told Pranjal that tea was first drunk in China in 2700 BC. Words like chai and chini are Chinese. Tea came to Europe in the 16th century. At first, it was used more as a medicine than as a beverage. Both Rajveer and Pranjal reached Mariani Junction. Pranjal's parents received them on the platform. They took them in a Mariani Junction, I was telling you. Pranjal's parents received them on the platform. They took them in a car to Dhekiabari, the tea estate managed by Pranjal's father. There were acres and acres of tea bushes. Women with bamboo baskets on their backs were plucking the new tea leaves. They had come there in the sprouting season. Rajveer said that this season Pranjal's father told Rajveer that he knew many things about tea plantations. Rajveer wanted to learn more about tea there. Now, dear children, main points of the story. Tea is really a very popular beverage in India. You can hear the vendor shouting chai garam at every railway station. More than 80 crores of cups of tea are drunk every day throughout the world. It was green everywhere, and Rajiv had never seen so much greenery before. The landscape changed, and tea bushes took the place of green paddy fields. A sea of tea bushes stretched as far as the eyes could go. Assam has the largest concentration of plantation in the world. No one really knows who discovered it. One Chinese legend says that a few leaves of the twigs burning under the pot fell into the boiling water. The leaves gave it a delicious flavor. They were tea leaves. Words, words like Thai and Thine are from the Chinese language. According to an Indian legend, an accident Buddhist ascetic cut off his eyelids because he felt sleepy during meditation. Then 10 tea plants grew out of his eyelids. Rajveer saw acre upon acre of tea bushes, and nearly all of them were neatly pruned to the same height. Groups of tea pluckers with bamboo baskets on their backs were plucking newly sprouted leaves. A tractor was pulling a trailer load of leaves. Rajiv asked Pranjal's father if it was the second flush or a sprouting period. The sprouting periods last from May to July, and this period yields the best tea. Dear children, now we have a lot of knowledge, and I think you should listen again and again this video. I think you will have a good knowledge about glimpses of India. Thank you, children.